Morning, everybody. So I was sitting in my chair looking at my sheep, scrolling through Instagram, and it occurred to me that once again I forgot about BFF Fibery Fridays. I started doing BFF Fibery Fridays back in, I don't know when, earlier this year, and every Friday I would highlight a sheep. And then when I highlighted Daisy, it was like the following Friday, or sorry, I highlighted her on Friday, and then it was the following week, I don't remember the day, that she died. And I lost all speed, all, oomph. I kept looking back at hers, and I couldn't do it. So then a few weeks ago, I said, you know what, I need to finish Fibery Fridays. I only had Ruby and Rohan left to do, so I did Ruby. And so that was 8, well, 9 counting Daisy. And then I forgot about Fibery Fridays again, and I forgot to highlight that one right there, Little Miss Muffin, Little Strut Muffin. So I thought that I would do a video BFF Fibery Friday instead. And so the first part obviously will be on Instagram, the first minute, and then the rest of it will be on Facebook. Hello, Ruby. And I'll put it on YouTube as well. So anyway, let me talk about Little Miss Rohan. Excuse me. She is our youngest sheep by a few weeks. She was born in April of 2017, so let's see, April 4th, I think. So yeah, she's like 2 or 3 weeks younger than her half-siblings, Rosie and Radagast. She is a purebred Icelandic, just like them. She was a set of twins, I believe. Pardon me. And she is the spitting image of her daddy, except that Einar, her father, doesn't have horns. So she has horns, but other than that, the markings, the badger face, the same little cute bullseye tail with the black underneath belly, and the whole 9 yards. She looks just like Einar. And that was one reason I had decided to get Radagast and Rosie. And then I wanted a third one because I just felt like I should bring home 3 because they're little, they'll band together against the big sheep, blah, blah, blah. Come on, let's be honest, I wanted a third little Icelandic sheep. But I picked out Rohan because she looked so much like Einar. I love that. I love those markings. And she's just got more personality in one little hoofy than most people have in their whole bodies. She is the loudest, and I never thought I would say that about another sheep besides Panda Bear, but she is the loudest sheep we have. She had me up at 6:15 this morning, so it's been gradually getting earlier and earlier, which is fine because I've been getting up earlier to get them out here before it gets hot. But I like being able to wake up when I wake up and not when Strut Muffin wakes me up. I call her Strut Muffin because when she walks, she struts. I'm not kidding. She has her daddy's strut too. Einar struts like this, and it's adorable. So Rohan's wool, when it's processed, it's usually kind of a mixture of the black and all that pretty tan and cream. And it turns out kind of a beautiful fawn gray. This last time that I took fiber up to the mill, I did not expect to be able to process the spring fleeces, any of them, into roving because it's usually too short. So my plan was to have fibers first turn it all into bats because I can spin from bats or I can use it to felt my soaps or whatever. But Lowell looked at all of them and he said, no, these are all really, really good spring fleeces. I think they'll go through the carding machine or the carder. So I'm like, whoa, okay, I'll take it. I mean, even Panda Bear and Black Velvet, the old ladies. So before I turned over Rohan's fleece, we pulled all the black off because one thing that I've wanted to see is if I just process the top wool, you know, her on her sides and her back, is it going to look that, you know, be a real pretty creamy little hints of ginger in it like Mikey had. So Lowell helped me pull out all the black, you know, her belly and behind and any black spots in the fleece. And so we'll see. We'll see what happens when we get that back, hopefully next month or the month after. But Rohan she has all the qualities of an Icelandic. Her wool has the two coats, the tog and the thell, the outer and the inner. And it is super soft to spin. I know people will say, boy, those tog hairs are so itchy. Well, they're not hairs, they're actually wool fibers. And they can be, but if you spin with low twist, very little twist, you can end up with some really nice soft garments. So, this is Rohan. She is super spunky and silly, and we love her to death. Hi! I'm shooting a video. I'm not talking to myself, I promise. Yeah. So she is the youngest, but she's the loudest. And I will have her wool back in stock, like I said, hopefully next month or in September. And I have to say that the folks that do bike riding up these hills impress me to no end. My goodness. Wow. Total subject change. But yeah, on this ridge we get actually a lot of bicyclers coming up and down here, and I just think, my goodness sakes. I mean, right now this incline doesn't look like much, but you get down further and it's really, really steep. And then if you go up, this just keeps climbing up and over the ridge. Whew, okay, total subject change from BFF Fibery Fridays, but that was funny. So anyway, this is the last BFF Fibery Fridays that I'm going to do for a while. I might reintroduce them, I don't know, in a few months maybe, or maybe just do that. And you know what I will do? I love it. Don't you guys love it how I think out loud in these videos? I hope you don't mind. But because next year, 2020, is our 5th anniversary, I think what I'll do is highlight a sheep a month or something like that. So it won't be BFF Fibery Fridays necessarily, but I'll do some kind of a new video series excuse me, where I talk about each of the sheep and can show you their wool. That would be kind of cool. I think that would be kind of cool. And then a really super sweet lady on YouTube suggested that I do a series of videos about processing wool. And even though, you know, I usually do take it all up to fibers first, and I do that for a couple of reasons. Just for those of you who don't know, I have back issues like you wouldn't believe, and these started when I was a little kid. It got worse after I herniated 2 discs when I was pregnant. Well, I injured my back when I was pregnant, and then they herniated 10 years later. So 2 back surgeries later, I still have issues. I mean, it's better, obviously, than when they're herniated, but I also have a thoracic vertebra that rotates out of position. So I'm a walking bundle of mess, is pretty much what I'm saying. So that is why that's the primary reason I choose to get everything processed at Fibers First. So I don't do any skirting. We do minimal skirting when they're sheared, and then I take, you know, we put them in bags and I take them up to Fibers First, and they do all the skirting, scouring, carding, etc., etc. But for next year, for the 5th anniversary, what I might do is hang on to one of the fleeces, or even part of a fleece, and demonstrate all the steps. And I could do that, you know, that would be, I wouldn't have to do the whole fleece to do a video, and it'd be kind of fun. Yeah. Oh, Ruby. Like, whatever, you're out here talking, we know we're safe, it's all good. So anyway, I have some plans for next year, and they will include a more thorough video series about each sheep, and lots of fun giveaways. Speaking of giveaways, if you are not a member of the Ravelry group, Blaine Fleece and Fiber on Ravelry, we're having a sheep to project thread that we started this year, and it's going to actually extend all the way through the end of 2020. And the idea is to use fellow sheep fiber, and every time you submit a project that you've made, you get an entry. And I'm going to do periodic giveaways like through this year, but then there's going to be some big giveaways, like lots and lots of fiber, maybe even lots and lots of hand spun yarn from the fellow sheep. So seriously, I highly recommend you check it out. If you go to Ravelry and find my group, it's one of the threads marked in green, and it says Sheep to Project 2019 to 2020. And it's all about using fellow sheep fleece and fiber. And this isn't just for spinners. So an example that I gave is that, say you spin a skein of yarn from Rohan's wool. You can then, once that's finished, you submit that skein of yarn for an entry. But then say later on you decide that you want to knit a scarf from that skein of yarn. Once that scarf is finished, that can be another entry as well. So I want it to just be a fun thread where everybody gets to play and enjoy these sheep's wool, because I think they're awesome. I mean, even my Icelandic spring fleeces are growing long and luscious and beautiful for spinners, so I'm kind of proud of my sheep. I had to throw that in again. So anyway, if you're not on Ravelry, I suggest you give it a go and find my group and join in the fun. And there will be lots of giveaways. Alright, so this has been an extended version of BFF Fibery Fridays, but I finally finished! I did it! I didn't forget Rohan again! How can I forget the strut muffin? She's so loud. Alright. Wherever you are, I hope you're having a wonderful day. And thank you so much for watching my videos and supporting the fellow sheep. All right, talk to you later.